All right, let's start with the Rams and Jaguars here. I'm going to give the new intros because we're the sports corner now, which we rebranded.
I need new business cards.
Yeah. All right, and my pen in my hand. I don't know why I need, but I need a pen in my hand when I talk. I just need one. So I need a, yeah, exactly.
Political point, That's all.
All right, guys, we are back. Adam's back from his vacation in the great nation that's so far away. That is Canada. We are back for Week 7. It's the Sports Corner. Last week we both had a losing record against the spread. Adam went 6-9. I went 7-8. But we're looking back to get back on track. Adam was a little distracted because he was on vacation, so he was sending me his picks via text when he was out there doing this thing in Canada. And I don't know. There's some teams where I was wondering why the hell did I take certain teams? Like, I don't know. I knew it. I said in my video, Adam, that I knew that the Bengals were going to cover, and I said, but I can't take them. But I talked myself out of it. And I took your Green Bay Packers, but we're neither here or there. How was your vacation, man? You ready to get back at Week 7?
It was good, yeah. That's what I'm blaming my picks on. Usually, I take your info from when we're talking, and that affects my picks a little bit. So that's my excuse.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I do get the numbers. I feel like when I get into the numbers a lot, like I when I do my research, that like I'm also talking myself out of like my first instinct. Like this is the team I want when I look at the schedule, and then when I dig it in, I'm like I talk myself out of it, and then like I shoot myself in the foot, and I'm like, God damn it. But okay, guys, we're back. We're here to give all our Week 7 picks. Hopefully, we do better than last week. We're still above. Well, I'm above 500 in my picks overall, and Adam is right at the 500 mark. So he's not losing yet, people. But he is. We hope to have a better week this week, and there's a lot of tight games tonight. This week, Adam. There's a lot of close numbers. Vegas. I mean, if anybody has any survival pools going or pick'em leagues, you could lose a lot this week. So let's get it started. Another game over the seas in Europe. I swear we're going to have a London team. I swear, like in 10 years, I think it's a dumb idea, but we're over in England so much. Like, that's not going to bowl well. Do you think there's going to be a team overseas? Like, I can't see that happening.
It's better than in Jacksonville, I guess. I think they're just going to move.
That's true. I would Jackson. Some of those games, like in Florida, nobody goes to those games. Like Dolphins games, like nobody's there. But all right, let's get after it. We're overseas, like we said, guys. Rams versus Jaguars, with the Rams being favored by 2.5 points, and the over/under is 44.5. The Rams are coming off a win against the Ravens. We both had the Rams on that one against the bummy Ravens, who are more injury prone than anybody in the whole league. But good win. They covered like they're supposed to, and we were on the right end of that. Big news though. I haven't checked the injury report today. This is Thursday. I don't know if Puka Nacua is going to be back. I know he's on your fantasy team. By the way, Adam, he blew me out in fantasy football. But Puka Nacua, I think he's not looking to. I mean,
he's questionable on the depth chart, but everybody online saying that they hope he just sits because I think they have a bye week next week.
Yeah.
But he's listed as questionable, so I'm thinking he's going to play, but I don't know.
I fall in the camp too that you can't lose him. I know it's a close game, but like there's still a good amount of the season left. So I think if he is 100%, sit him. You still got Devonta Adams, the number one guy. So so work with that. And Tutu Atwell is also he's hurt as well. But if they could get Tutu Atwell at least to help Devonta Adams, I think then you should set Puka Nacua back. But like I said, Puka Nacua, the guys are going to be the best wide receiver this year, so he is injured, so keep an eye on that. But we know about the Rams. They have one of the great head coaches. Good guy. The guy can scheme. One of the better guys who can scheme against anybody. They have Matthew Stafford. He's having a great year. Their offense is great. Kyle Williams is a good running back. Brian Corum, his backup, he's hurt. Want to see more out of him when he is healthy. But their defense, like we've said, just repeating it again, they could get after the quarterback. They have 19 sacks. That is killing it right now in the NFL. And Brian Young, I think his name is, has 7.5 sacks. He's leading the way. So the guy's killing it. And he's, I believe, the sack leader in all of the NFL. I could be wrong about that. I think maybe the guy from the Broncos is the sack leader. But, one thing that I think we have to worry about besides the injuries is the kicker for the Rams. I think since the Eagles blocked his field goal and took it back for that touchdown who made the Eagles cover, is that since then he's 10 for 14, so he's missed 4 field goals. He's missed 2 extra points, and I know it doesn't sound like, oh, 4 field goals is not bad, but that's a 71% clip. You don't want your kicker just hitting 71% of his field goals.
And
So
that's usually how
he
people cover too, is by a kick.
100%, especially when a game is as tight as this at 2.5 points. Like, so let's say the
Yep.
game's going down the wire. You want a reliable kicker to kick it in there, and then boom, you win the game by 3 points. So keep an eye on that. This guy is a little shaky. I believe he missed a field goal in the last game against the Ravens. He did miss a field goal against the Ravens. So keep an eye on that. A little good stat right here. Stafford is in the last 15 games. He's 11-4, and he's also 250 yards, averaging 250 yards per game in those 15 games. And in the last 15 games, he has 27 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. So the guy is killing it. Age is just a number to him, so he's looking good. Let's talk about the Jaguars coming off the loss to the Seahawks. The Seahawks ate the Jaguars' offensive line up. They had 7 sacks in that game. So Trevor Lawrence has got plummeted in that game, and that does not bode well because the Rams could get after the quarterback. It's their bread and butter when it comes on defense. Brian Thompson Jr. He dropped another good pass. He should have caught this pass. I mean, I think I don't. I mean, it could have
It was a
not maybe not
pivotal
one.
moment.
Yeah, yeah,
It was at a
exactly.
very pivotal moment.
So, that's another thing they're dealing with. Brian Thompson is not looking like it did last year, and that was his rookie year. It's another drop ball. And this is throughout the whole this season. He has a lot of drop balls. And that has not bode well. I know they said that Travis Hunter's gonna get more than the passing game, but I mean, what do you? I mean, come on. I know you're a buyer on him. Well, what's your take on him so far?
I think he's looking a little bit better. Um, he had a slow start. I think they threw too much at him, and I don't think he's like that kind of player that's just going to come in and dominate NFL athletes. So I think he's going to get going. I don't know that he's a number one wide receiver. I could definitely be wrong. Um, the Jaguars in general are just they're hot and cold. Like you see potential there. Their defense looks good. Their running game looks good. Trevor Lawrence can look good, but they can just fall apart. Uh, and they do. But they played the Seahawks well, and the Seahawks are looking like one of the top 6 or 7 teams in the league right now. So I don't know if they just played up to the competition or what, but they're kind of a tough one for me. But I do think they're still a decent team.
Yeah, their defense leads the league in turnovers. They're a very risk oriented defense. Like they will go for that ball. They will jump on a pass trying to get after it. So they do lead the league in interceptions. They did well get the Seahawks, like you said. Good point. They held those Seahawks to 1-11 on third downs. So that the Seahawks coming away with that win is kind of like, oh wow, like because usually third down conversion is a good marker who's going to win the ball game. So that was great. But they had no turnovers that game, and they had 10 net penalties, so that kind of screwed the Jaguars in that point. But with all that's being said about the Jaguars, they look better than last year. They've have more takeaways in 6 games than they had more takeaways all of last year, and they already have the same amount of wins right now than they had last year as well. So already it's a big improvement for the Jaguars. They're killing it. Like so, good on Liam Coleman to taking this team and turning them around. Um, you know, but you know, well, let's get some bidding tidbits before we get our predictions. The Rams are 7-0 against the spread against AFC opponents, so they're killing AFC opponents. The Rams are 11-3 in their last 11 against the spread. In their last 14, their last 14 games, 11-3 against the spread. And the Jags are 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 games. So the Rams are 2.5 favorites away. I'll let you take this one, man. Like it's a tough one. Like, do you believe in this Jaguar? I think that's what it comes down to. This Jaguars defense is very risk oriented, and can they? And Matthew Stafford does not give a lot of turnovers. He doesn't. I just told you the stats. The guy was in the last 18 games, like he was 28-3. So it's like 20 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So what do you think, man? This is a tight game.
It is. It is only 2.5 points. I like the direction the Jaguars are going in, but I still think the Rams are a tier at least above as far as the team goes. I know it is a overseas game, which the Jaguars are used to, but I just think it's not enough points to make me go with the Jag. So I'm rolling with the Rams on this one.
Yeah, and when it comes to the, I think it comes down to coaching. Really, I like the new coach. I like what he's doing for the Jaguars, but I think McVay, even with the loss of Puka Nacua, they still have Devontae Adams. They still got a. He's not the number one receiver like he used to be, but he's still a low tier A kind of wide receiver. So he's still there. They got Kyron Williams, and they have Tutu Atwell, and their defense. That's the main thing. Tyler Lawrence was sacked like crazy, and this defense can eat quarterbacks alive. And I just think the Jaguars are just not there yet. I do not trust their offense on them too well. So I am also taking the Rams to cover the 2.5 points in London, Wembley Stadium, I believe, or whatever it's at. It's in England. So that'd be an early game. So keep an eye out for that. Now, let's talk about the biggest number of the biggest spread number that is, and in division game we got the Raiders versus the Kansas City Chiefs that everybody's saying they're the best in the world now. They're 11.5 point favorites, and the over under is 45.5. The Raiders are coming off a win and a cover against the Titans. That was one of your best bets, so that was a good call. Uh, but I mean, I think a good top college team could probably put a good fight against the Titans. I mean, the team is just disorganized. They fired their coach after that game. The Jeffrey Simmons, their best player on both sides of the ball. He said they haven't had a good practice in weeks, or that was the worst week of practice they've had in weeks. So like that says like what are players doing? Is it disorganized? Are they not like? I don't know? It just seems like it's just a hot mess there in with the Titans organization. The new head coach and interim coach McCoy. I don't know if you remember him, but he coached the Chargers, I believe, from like 2012 to 2015. So he does have head coaching experience, and I did remember. I do remember he got the Chargers in the playoffs in the first year with the Chargers, and then he kind of fell apart from there. But he does have head coaching experience, so it's just like some guy that coming out of the blue or some new guy who has no experience being a head coach. Um, let's go back on the Raiders though, real quick. The Raiders, they're coming off a 4-game losing streak, so they needed that win bad. Gino didn't look that good, to be honest with you. Even that win, he only had 174 yards passing, one touchdown, one interception. This guy, Mr. Inconsistent, but now it's looking more bad than good, and age might be catching up to him. But hey, the defense stepped up for the Raiders. That's what you do with crappy teams. You got to rely on something. They stepped up and they sacked Cam Ward 6 times. So they were getting after Cam Ward. So good for them. Bowers is still out. I think that's killer. I know Michael Mayer, the backup tight end, was good. Sucks for me as a Brock Bowers fantasy owner, but I think they're gonna let him heal till. I think he's not gonna play this game. I mean, I know he's not gonna play this game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think they're gonna set him until after the bye week. But I don't know, man. It looks like the Raiders might be one of the worst teams in the NFL. I mean, Genti is a bright spot, I guess. Jacoby Myers are not even getting the ball to. Jacoby Myers was a real golden nugget, diamond in the rough, if you will, last year, and they're not getting the ball to him. Tucker looking like it's Geno Smith's favorite guy. I mean, anything you like about the Raiders that I'm missing here?
Not really. I mean, without Brock Bowers, that offense just doesn't have enough to get going. They just don't have it on either side of the ball, so they're not great.
Yeah, I mean Max Crosby and Devon White, the linebacker, he really was all over the field that game against the Titans. But like I said, it's the Titans.
Titans, yeah.
It's the worst offense in the league. So take that for what it is. Um, Vegas, by the way, the Raiders are 2-4 against the spread, and they're 1-2 against the spread, playing away. So there's that. Now let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. They're people already crowning as the best team in the NFL. They're number one in a lot of people's power rankings, even though like they lost to the Broncos, but they win this game. Everybody's going game busters on them just because they beat the Lions. And I was surprised. We mean you both had the Lions, but so they're coming off a good win against the Lions. I hate to say it though. I hate to say it. Like Mahomes is looking like he is here we go. If you want a good bet right now, anybody watching this, the small audience we have, Go bet right now Mahomes to win the MVP. You could get it right now at plus 200. You could put 500 bucks on there, win over $1,000. Right now, I think he isn't, dude. Like he is the running back. He has over 200 yards rushing. I think he's probably going to beat his rushing total and like for his career this season. And he only has 2 picks and I like 9 or 11 touchdowns. So he's killing it. Um, they do get back Rasheed Rice, I believe, today as well.
this
So
week. Yep.
yeah, so Rasheed Rice and Worthy and Kelsey and so Brown will be the probably the who got slapped in the face. Hollywood Brown probably going to be the slot wide receiver. So now this looks like a really good running back. I mean, wide receiver room. So I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you think they're back and they're going to be firing at all cylinders? The Chiefs.
Last week, the Chiefs versus Lions looked like the two best teams in the league, and the Chiefs handled the Lions. So I think right now they're the number one ranked team. I still don't think they're a tier above everybody else, but they looked good. And if Rasheed Rice comes back looking like he did last year, and they can get going on offense, yeah, they're going to be really tough to beat. Um,
You
and
know,
even Travis Kelsey's been looking decent.
yeah, better than last year.
Yeah,
Um, but the thing with the Chiefs is this. I'm an Eagles fan, so I hate the Chiefs, and the Eagles have had their number in the last 2 games or 3 games. The last 3 games, yeah. But I'm with you. They look better and all that. I get it and all that. But they still need a second corner. They still need a running back room. Like this, can Mahomes put this? Can he keep this up, rushing and running the ball all the time? He's getting whacked. He's getting hit. That's going to take a toll on him. So, even though I think he's going to probably win the MVP if he keeps this up, but they need a running back. Anybody who's half better than what they have now. So I'm just saying, like, I just need to see more from the running backs in general. Hunt and Pachenko and the other guy are not doing it for me. But like I said, Mahomes is killing it, or 1,500 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, and 222 yards rushing. So he's killing it. Rasheed Rice is back. They're gonna have a really great. Excuse me. They're gonna have a really great wide receiver room. But let's pump the brakes on Rasheed Rice too. You know why? Rasheed Rice played 3 games last year. And he did. It was a 3 good games, but it wasn't like he was like, let's see a whole more than 3 games. Let's see a whole season of how good Rasheed Rice is going to be. So pump the brakes on that. The defense is still solid. It's allowing 20.7 points a game, pretty good. You want to see more than Chris Jones, their bread and butter, their heart of their defense. He only has 1 sack so far, so you want to see more from him. They only have 6 turnovers too, so they're basically averaging a turnover a game. But one of those games they had 2 or 3 turnovers in one setting. So you want to see them get more turnovers and get more sacks. I also want to point out that Harrison Buckner, just like I talked about the Rams kicker, Harrison Buckner is not having a good year. He's missed 3 field goals and he's missed 3 extra points, and he's just around 70, 72, 74% on field goals. So this is not the Harrison Buckner we're used to. And he was actually, he had signs of that last year. So I just want to point that out that, even though this is a large number, but I'm just saying, just keep an eye on that. But I'm not trying to glaze. Let's spread this out evenly here. I want to give you guys a little tidbit against the Raiders. Against the Chiefs here. Mahomes has failed to cover in he's failed to cover in 7 straight divisional games. So he hasn't covered at all in any division games, 7 straight, and that is a lot. In general, the Chiefs are 3-3 against the spread, and they're 2-1 against the spread at home. So man, it's basically the inconsistency of Geno Smith without Brock Bowers against a Chiefs team that's finally becoming fully healthy. I'll let you take this one.
I hate taking this many points, but I need to go with the Chiefs. They passed the eye test for me last week. It's a boatload of points, but I'm just gonna roll with it. I don't know. I think they're gonna do it.
Yeah, it is about a lot of points. It's in divisional. I just gave the stat that they haven't covered in 7 straight games. But, this seems a little bit different. Worthy and Rice are going to be back for this game. I'm sure Rice he might have less snaps than usual because he's getting back into this first NFL game. I'm still concerned about the run. What I'm concerned the most is that Genti might go off this game, and he keeps Mahomes them off the offense. Mahomes off the field, like the offense, the Kansas City's offense, and they keep it close enough with Genti's legs. But the Browns are so inconsistent. Geno's inconsistent. I just can't do it myself. I got a feeling this might be like the Bengals game and Packers game, but I think Mahomes, how well he's playing right now. I think I'm just going to take the Chiefs with Adam to cover the 10.5 points. And now we just talked about one of the better teams in the NFL. Now let's talk about the toilet bowl game of the week. That's right, the two teams fighting against each other. In my opinion, we have the Dolphins versus the Browns. The Cleveland Browns being favored by 2.5 points, and the over/under being 39.5. Dolphins are coming off a close loss to the Chargers. They could have won that game outright, but they dropped the bag as usual. But they did cover. So that's two games they lost by in a row by a field goal or less. So they are keeping games close enough. There's not really anything you can say positive about their defense. I mean, Chubb is getting after the quarterback. I think he has 4.5 sacks. There's that. But like you can pass on this team, you could run on this team. They also but this team also feels dysfunctional like the Titans. I believe Tua said that like guys weren't showing up to players meetings. So it's like, I mean, let's be honest, Mike McDaniel's is probably fired. I mean, right?
For
He's
sure.
gone.
For sure.
Yeah. So um the only thing you kind of say about this, the Miami Dolphins is their offense. Their offense is good. Their defense is not. Like I said, they're 31st in opponent EPA. The Miami Dolphins. They're allowing 29 points a game, which was in the bottom five, and they only have one interception. But they do have 7 forced fumbles and 5 fumble recoveries, but only 1 pick. Okay, so fumbles. I'm not a big fan of them. Like when it comes to stat wise, you don't know how those fumbles happened. It's still a turnover, so they still got 5 turnovers, 5 forced fumbles. I mean, fumble recoveries. But like I said, this team's all about the offense. They did lose Tyreek Hill, we all know that, but Waddle's stepped up. He's looking good. Um, you know, you got to hope he stays healthy. He's an injury-prone player. Darren Warren, he's coming out of the woodwork. He's looking like vintage Darren Warren. 4 touchdowns since he's been back, 117 yards. So that's good to see. So that's a good thing to help the heal the wound since Tyreek Hill got hurt. Warren has stepped up, and A-Chain's looking good. A-Chain has 400 and like he's over 400 yards rushing, and he has 195 yards receiving. So the guy basically has over 600 yards total yards. So they're running the offense through him as they should. I don't know, dude. Is anything you got positive to say about the Miami Dolphins?
No, Achan does look good though. Tua's taken a step back from last year. I think his egg's been scrambled a couple too many times.
Yeah.
And yeah, they put in a valiant effort last week, but I don't know how many more weeks they have in them. They can't keep losing. They're gonna start shipping for parts. They could fire a coach. It's any game now. They could just really, really start on fire, like dumpster fire. I mean,
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that I think too it might be like a Daniel Jones situation. I think he moved to a different team. He could be pretty good somewhere else because he gets protection. So I think it'd be like one of those situations. He's gonna leave. McDaniels is gonna leave, and then maybe McDaniels would become offensive
hey,
coordinator somewhere. And
Eagles, they need one.
hey, I'll take him as an offensive coordinator better than freaking Patula, guy who looks like his head is in the sand. He's just lost in the clouds. Believe me. Don't get me. We'll jump
We'll
on the
save that.
Eagles.
We'll save that.
Yeah. But as I look at my notes here, man, but I don't know. If they can't score 30 points, they're not winning the game. They need to score 30 points because they're letting the other team score almost 30 points on them. So they need to like score 30, 35 points to win games. And like I said, the locker room is lost. Tua said it himself. Like the guys are not showing up to meetings. Guys probably checked out and they're just playing for paychecks. Let's talk about the Browns now. I'm taking too much on the Dolphins. Browns are on a 3-game losing streak. I am done, man. I'm so disappointed in the Browns. They got their asses handed by the Steelers. Good call there. Add up, you got the Steelers on that one. we all know about the Browns. Okay, there's no more than we have to like talk about. We all know about them. Their defense is really great. The pass rush is elite. The running blocking is elite. They're top 10 in like every defensive metric. So they are killing it in defense. It's about their offense. They Daniel Gabriel, he hasn't been good, but he hasn't been bad either. Just average. He has 3 touchdowns, 0 interception, but his completion rate is 57.3. So you want to see in the 60s. So, I guess it's better than Flacco because Flacco has turned the ball over more. But, he has no time. Daniel Gabriel has no time. Since Daniel Gabriel has been the quarterback, he's been sacked 8 times in 2 games. So the guy is getting sacked left and right. And the Steelers sacked him 6 times. So they're getting after them. Um, but this team, they're using Junkins. It runs through Junkins, and as they should use Junkins, protect your rookie quarterback, and then use your tight ends, your dual tight ends, and Jerry Judy if you can, because I know he's not. I mean, he had 13 balls thrown at him, Judy, but he didn't cap. I think he cut maybe half that. So they are trying to feed him. Um, but keep an eye on the injuries when it comes to the Browns. Keep an eye on the injuries. Both their starting tackles are hurt, and I think one of them is definitely not playing. I think Conklin is not playing. They traded for Cam Robinson. That guy's hurt already. So keep an eye on that. David, no, I can't pronounce his name for me, Adam.
Njoku.
Yeah, David Ujoko. He's also beat up, so keep an eye on that. Oh yeah, and the Browns haven't scored 20 points yet this season. They haven't scored it once. They haven't scored 20 points yet. So that's another reason to be worried about. A little betting tidbit here for you. The Browns are 7-3 against the spread in the last 10 games versus the Dolphins. So they have been covering against the Dolphins of late. So Adam, to the toilet bowl game, man, of the week. Who do you got, man? Who do you think? Oh, you know what? I'll take it. You do the last two. I'm done. I am done with the Browns. I am done. I don't care if they're favorite. Like I've been riding them, hoping they could catch some spreads, and they haven't for me when I did bet them. So I'm strictly taking the better quarterback, Tua. I'm hoping, praying, wishing that they give him some times to block that ferocious front seven. They need to feed the ball to A chain, A chain, A chain. Do some quick outs. When that ferocious line is getting to you, throw a quick out to A chain or Waddle, the speedsters on your team, really quick. Okay, that's what they need to do. I'm going to take the better quarterback, and hopefully this defense can step up a bit. So give me Miami to cover the plus the points. I mean,
Well, I don't want to be on the same side of the toilet as you. It's not that I like the Browns. We'll just find different ends of the toilet. So I'll go with the Browns
oh, you take the Browns plus the 2.5. Okay, that sounds good.
very reluctantly. They need to get off the schneid at some point here.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I am not confident in this big offense. There's some guys who might they're coming in, they're there to collect a paycheck and they're going to walk out the door and take a loss. They don't care. But hey, hopefully some guys want to play up and they want to play because both teams are probably going to trade some guys, So I think the Dolphins has probably more players to trade than the Browns. Well, let's stick with the crappy team here. But we have this is not a toilet bowl game, but we have the Patriots versus the Titans. Is this going to be Vrabel's revenge game? Patriots versus Titans. New England being favored by 7.5, and the over/under being 42.5 points. I mean, let's do this briefly for the Titans. They are a mess. They fired their head coach. Got a new head coach in Mike McCoy. As I said previously, he does have head coaching experience. He's just not some guy that's, some random guy that they chose. So he's there. He has some head coaching experience. Maybe he could do something. But I don't think this is going to help that team. Like there's a lot of people they just need to get out of this organization. I think like a lot of guys probably are giving up. The Cam Ward, he's saying it was so funny. Like, oh, they're having like, I don't know what he said. Like, if they let me play how I want to play, watch out, brother. You got nobody to throw to, and your running back is awful. Okay, Calvin Ridley's probably not playing this game. He's their best wide receiver, so he's out. Their best guy getting the ball is probably that tight end. I can't even pronounce his name. Okawaka or Waka. I can't even pronounce his name. So he's their best catcher after that. And I don't know what to say. Like I said, Jeffrey Simmons, like I said before, Jeffrey Simmons said that they had the worst practice, a week of practice than they have in all season. So what are you going to do? I think the Titans are going to unload the better players they do have, and Snead and Simmons says he wants to stay, but I think he should go and try to win a chip. But I think they're going to unload those players. Who's you have the two rookie wide receivers starting now, and Tyler Lockett, maybe Tyler Lockett. He wants to get out of there. So I have no idea what the Titans are going to do. They're a mess. That's enough about them. Anything you want to say about the Titans, man?
They should bench Cam Ward. He's going to get murdered. I heard he was on pace to get sacked 70 times this season.
Yeah, there's that. That's like David. It's like David Carr style. Remember David Carr when he started the Texans?
It's awful.
He
Yeah.
he was getting like hit.
Let him sit, wait for a new coach. I don't know. They need to just pack it up for the year.
100%. The Patriots, they could get after the quarterback too. So don't be surprised if Cam Ward is wearing a neck brace after this game. Like I said, Patriots are coming off a tough win against a tough Saints team. So they're on a 3-game winning streak. And they're number one in the AFC East. They're ahead of the Bills, and I think they want that's big for them. And they want to keep that. I don't think they haven't won it since the Belichick and Brady days. So good for them. Drake May is now 4th in the MVP odds, so he has shot up big time. He was like plus 1,000 something when the season began. So Drake May is killing it. He's completed over 73 of his passes. 73% of his passes. So he's looking good. Diggs had a good back-to-back, good run of 3 games here. Kevin Bote, whatever you say his name. He's looking like a viable option. I still think they need to go and get another wide receiver. The running back room, said about what time Stevenson and Henderson are not it. They need somebody. They should go get somebody. If they want to win the AFC East, they need to get running back, and I'm sure they could get somebody from one of these teams that are losing. Hey, maybe just tell Tony Pollard, just cross the field to us. We just traded for you for a ham sandwich. You're in. So maybe they.
I'm hearing Breece Hall trade rumors. I think Breece Hall might get moved, and he would be a huge impact for anybody.
Yeah, so I think Breece Hall on the Patriots, that'd be one hell of a deal. They have a top 10 offense, by the way, too. But like I said, they need another wide receiver, and they need another running back. So, this could be a sucker's bet. And I don't know if you have any belief in this. Tell me what you think. I'll let you take this one, but tell me what you think. Do you believe in this? People are saying that this the firing of the coach and bring this new guy in is going to light a fire in this team, and they're going to do their best to. No, they're just going to step it up because it's going to add a fire. Like, hey, like we got the guy we don't like out here. We could probably do something. I don't know. Do you believe in all that?
No. If they need just a hoorah rah speech, their team, you need a lot more better skill players and better players to give a hoorah rah speech. The Patriots are playing great. They just had a marquee win last week. The Titans are reeling. Yeah. They're just not in a position to put up a fight against the Patriots, in my opinion. And I don't think 7.5 points is that big of a lift for the Patriots. So I want the Patriots. I know I'm only picking favorites, but I've liked the Patriots all season, and Drake May is really stepping up. So I like where they're at. I can't bet against them right now.
I'm with you. How can you take the Titans? Like, yeah, they got a new head coach. The rot is deep in this team. It's not just with the head coach. Okay, there's a lot of guys. They see the record, and they might take some time. They might take some games off. I don't know, but I can't take the Titans team. Mike Vrabel, he probably wants to prove to the owner who's gonna be watching, you shouldn't have fired me. And I think he's gonna want to stick those 7.5 points and shove it up the Titans' ass. So give me the Patriots with Adam to cover the 7.5 points. And let's this game in the beginning of the season, I would think was a toilet bowl game, but it is not now, as the Panthers are 3-3 and they're going against the Jets, who are the worst team in the NFL, but they haven't won one game yet. So we got the Panthers versus the Jets. Panthers being favored by 1.5 points and the over under being 41.5. The Panthers, are coming off a big shootout with the Cowboys. And man, the Cowboys defense is god awful. It's unbelievably awful. Rico Dodwell, that guy is on fire like nobody's business. He's basically rushed over 400 yards in 2 games. That's basically it. He had over 200 some yards the week before. So the guy's killing it. And he's added 84 yards receiving in those 2 games. So the guy's killing it everywhere. He's come out of nowhere since Chuba Hubbard is been hurt, and Chuba Hubbard is questionable for this game as well. So keep an eye on that. He might be. So they might have a good running back duo. Now they know they could reuse Rico a little bit more in their offensive planning. Like I said, he's killing it. But what also is impressive, they held A chain from the Miami Dolphins to 16 yards rushing, and they also held Javonte Williams, the Cowboys running back, to 29 yards rushing. So they held two running backs who are doing really well this year to less than 50 yards. So they combined. So they are doing well on the rush defense. The previous games. Bryce Young, in the last three games, he's stepped it up too. He's throwing six touchdowns for two interceptions. Not bad, because you want to see, that's the big if in this team is Bryce Young a viable starting quarterback in this league, or a franchise quarterback for the Panthers. But the defense can get after the defense can't get after the quarterback. There's one thing I always thought that this team could. The best things about the Panthers was that potential of that front seven, right? That front seven could be really great. It could be ferocious, but they only have five sacks so far. Only 5 sacks. That's less than a sack a game. So that has to step up because I mean, it makes sense because Dak Prescott was lighting them up, but it just that the Panthers lit them up just a bit more. So they need to get after the quarterback. They are terrible at getting after the quarterback. Also, Bryce Young is not throwing the ball down the field. He's in the bottom half of quarterbacks, so he's a lot of dinking and dunking. You want to see him throwing a little farther, a little deep down the field than he's doing now to give other defenses something else to look at. And the Panthers they're 3-3, but all their defeats have been on the road. So they are going to New York. So they're 0-3 so far on away games. I mean, what do you think, man? Are you impressed by the Panthers? Are you do you think I mean, I think their offense, I'm impressed by Rico at least.
Yeah. Yeah, impressed is a strong word, but they have looked good. I think that Ted McMillan, that wide receiver, has been good. They've been scoring points. They've had a couple bad losses, but overall they've been decent.
Yeah. You would like to see him have another wide receiver to help that team out, except run the ball, pounding the ball. But hey, maybe that's their identity. They ground and pound, and play action to their players. But they need another wide receiver to step up for sure. Let's talk about the god awful Jets. They are on a 6-game losing streak. Surprise, they're 0-6. I believe they're the only team in the NFL who hasn't won a game yet. Yeah, they're the only team who haven't won a game yet in the NFL. They did play good. They did play good against the Broncos. By the way, you had the Jets, and then you switched it to the Broncos to me in your picks. So you had it before you changed it. I mean, you changed your mind.
Yeah.
So they lost by the Broncos by 2 points, and I actually think that says about the Broncos offense. Everybody's a little too hyped on the Broncos offense. It's not so good. It's below average in my opinion. But hey, they lost by only 2 points, and Broncos are probably a playoff team, so that's good. But if you look a little more deeper into their record, they've lost 3 games by 2 points only, and they lost another game by 6 points or less. So they're in games. They're losing by the majority of games they've lost by 1 possession, or less. So they are in games to the end. So they do have some kind of fighting spirit, if you will. Justin Fields' numbers don't look bad, but he's another guy who's dinking and dunking. He's only averaging 6.5 yards a pass, so just dunk, 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 and that's just like Bryce Young. So there's a lot of dinking and dunking. So a lot of guys who are not.
Do you know how many passing yards they had last week against the Broncos?
Oh, I don't know.
-10.
Oh man, really?
-10. They had 82 yards of total offense. -10 yards passing.
How they only win by 2?
I don't know. I don't know. I think there was some lucky stuff. The Jets had like a return or something that scored or set up a score. And I think the Broncos just weren't. They were just trying to control the game.
Is that like a record? Like it has to be seen in the last 25 years, especially since the league is all pass happy now. Wow, that is god awful. So Justin Fields, my God, dude, he's not a viable starting quarterback.
I wish he would have stayed in Chicago. It's tough.
He needs maybe a good backup quarterback, but I think the nail in the coffin has to be done for Justin Fields. But okay, good. You point me out. He's only throwing 6.5 yards a play, which ranks 24th. And like I said, Bryce Young is not doing any better. He's been sacked 19 times as well. So the guy's getting sacked left and right. And I don't know if that's him running the ball too much or hanging on to the ball and trying to find something, but he's getting sacked like crazy. But also, I want to point out his best weapon, Garrett Wilson. He'll be out this game, so he is gone. They said he's gonna be out for a couple weeks. So the second best guy is the rookie tight end Taylor. Now I liked him out of college. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think Taylor's the guy who should be leading the team in receptions. Lazard is still there. The other wide receivers, Tyler. Eh, no, no, thank you. So if Justin Fields was bad, hell, he might do worse than last week against the Broncos. But so the best weapon, Garrett Wilson, he is out. They're dead last in passing yards per game. They're only averaging 20 points a game, so they're not scoring the ball at all. And their defense is allowing 28.3 points. So their defense is not like the team of the Jets of old, like we know. They're letting everybody and their mother score them almost 30 points a game. And the worst stat of them all, the defense has only had one turnover. They got it, I think, last week. I think they got a forced fumble, and that was their first turnover of the season. So one forced fumble, one fumble recovery, and zero interceptions. That is god awful. So, dude. Also the little thing for the Panthers here that I forgot: the Panthers are 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 games. So I'll take this one. You know, I'm just gonna say it. I'm taking the Jets money line. I am taking the Jets money line. This is desperation mode. This is like, hey, we haven't won a game since last year. We have to do something. Now look at Gary Wilson's gone. I know Gary Wilson's gone. I know they could just corral the box, but I think the Panthers, they prove that when they leave Carolina, they do not play well. The numbers are at like Jekyll and Hyde. They're way better at home than they're away, and like they play the Broncos tough. And I think it's desperation mode. Like I could be wrong, but I think they can have Bryce Young turn the ball over this defense. I think they keep it close enough. I'm going to take the points, but I think, yeah, I'm just going to take the points.
Okay.
But
Okay. Don't talk yourself out of it too much.
yeah, I'm going to take the Jets plus the points. It's desperation mode. They have to win one game, and I think this is the best time to win a game. Even though the Panthers are covering the spread of late usual, but I'm buying the super low stock that is the garbage Jets. Jets, Jets.
Well, I'm not going to go with you. I
Ooh.
think the Panthers rush defense is going to bottle up that offense, especially without Garrett Wilson. So I think they can score enough points. And yeah, I want to be different than you this week purposely. I think I don't know why. Feeling
This might
feeling
be this might be
competitive.
one this might be one of my calls of the week. A lot of people liked my a lot of views and a lot of my TikTok when I called the Browns to cover against the Packers. Well, I'm calling the
Oh, you're gonna
Jets.
use that for every pick? Come on, this is not the same situation. God.
Well, all right. Well, I got the Jets, and I think if they come to win this outright, I think I deserve a pat on the back for myself if they get that
Well,
one right.
you can pre-pat and then we'll see. Sure.
We'll stick with another crappy team and your second favorite team. We have the Saints versus the Bears. The Chicago Bears being favored by 4.5, 5.5. Shop your books. That's what the number I see it. And the over-under is 46.5 points. Hey, Saints are coming off a loss against the Patriots. It was a tough game, but they did lose and they didn't cover. But that game was closer than people realize. They lost by one. They lost by one possession by a touchdown, and or was it 8 points? But they by one possession, and they held the Patriots to only 3 points in the second half. So that was very admirable. Like I said, Drake May is a top 5 MVP candidate, and they held them to only 3 points in the second half. Um, as I said before, Rattler's been good, better than average. So he has been terrible. 6 touchdowns, only one interception. You want to see him throw the ball down the field, though. He's also like in the bottom 10, I believe, and yards per play. And you have Rashid Shaheed, man. That guy could take it over the top on any team. Just if you have a chance, man, throw it out there, see what can happen. Be a little risk, throw a little risk out there. You could put Olave in the middle, Juwan Johnson, and just throw one right up over the top to Rashid Shaheed because they need it. They need to stretch the field if they're going to want to win this game. Um, so they need to also kind of stop using Alvin Kamara. They're beating to dead horse. Use Kendra Miller, okay? Alvin Kamara is lost a step. He just has, okay? And he's on the trading block. But use Kendra Miller a little bit more. Kendra Miller needs like 15 carries. He's only getting like 8 to 10. Get him to 15 carries, see what he can do, and and then use Alvin Kamara on those swings or hooks for the passes. But Kendrick Miller needs to be involved more if they want to survive. Their secondary is not so great. The Saints, they could get after the quarterback. I believe they're I forget his name, but he has 4.5, 5 sacks. What are their defensive, the front seven? So they can get after the quarterback. Um, their offense, even though they have all these weapons, like I said, they're only averaging 18 points a game. And I think that how can you do that when you have Hill, who's a gadget guy, Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Kamira, Johnson? This team needs to put up more points, and they need to do that by stretching the field. And they only scored 20 points once this season. So I don't know, man. I'm a Saints believer. I think they're one of the better 1-5 teams I've seen in the NFL. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but I think they are. Spencer Rattler their guy, maybe not because he doesn't take any risk or stretch a field, but I think they're one of the better 1-5 teams.
Yeah, I think they're hanging in there. I mean, they're not just getting blown out every game like a lot of people thought they were going to. Um, they beat the Giants, who are amazing. That just destroyed your Eagles. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't watched enough of the Saints games to be honest. But they're hanging in there, and they've been a better team than people thought.
Yeah, they definitely have. Pay attention to Alvin Kamara is questionable this game with an ankle injury, so he might not play this game. So keep an eye out for that. I think that'd be a great time for Miller to take a step up. And if you want to add Miller on your fantasies, go right ahead because he'd be a good pickup. Bears. Let's talk about the Adam's second favorite team, the Chicago Bears. They're coming off a game-winning field goal against the Commanders. Uh, Dumb fumble by Jaden Daniels and that rookie running back. I don't want to hear that it's slippery and raining outside. You didn't see the Bears fumble, did you? You saw the Commanders fumble, and also the Bears caused two turnovers to. They had no turnovers, so good on the Bears. They were a 5-point underdog as well. They were a 5-point underdog, and they win that game outright. So that is a good, solid win right there. Swift had his best game of the season. I'm still not. I still don't think Swift is should be the number one back. I think it should be a complimentary back. But hey, he ran over 100 yards. He caught a lot of balls for a lot of yards. So he did his best game yet. I think they need to do more of that. DJ Moore is questionable for this game, so keep an eye out for that. I believe he has a groin injury, and groin injuries are pretty bad for any NFL player, but especially wide receivers. Um, Caleb could have had more touchdowns in that game, by the way. I don't know if you watched that. They called one back, which I don't know what they called back for. And then also,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I think,
The illegal formation thing where the O lineman, it was a bad call, and it was a
yeah,
touchdown, I think, to
right.
Doomsday. I
I heard a
remember
lot of people saying that the Bears were getting screwed on a lot of those
the
calls.
whole game, and I think it was kind of correct, but they did
Right.
get bailed out by a fumble. So
Right. And there's Deas, the other wide receiver. If you watch that play when the Bears were in their own field, deep, like I think below, I mean, like around the 10-yard line, Zacchaeus, he drops a ball. But if you watch the replay, if he catches that on because a linebacker, he did a slant and linebacker lost him, he would have caught that ball. It would have been like an 80, 90 yarder to the touchdown, but he dropped the ball. So that's another touchdown that Caleb Williams going to have. Caleb Williams is having a good year, only 2 turnovers. So he's looking like the first round pick that the Bears chose him at. But one thing I want to for all the Bears who are on the Bears train here because they won a couple of games in a row here. Just remember their defense is not what it used to be. It's not the Bears defense we know. Their best cornerback is hurt. You could throw on this Bears team. Okay, so to keep that in mind, and their defense is are allowing almost 30 points a game. The Bears defense, so that's what it's in the bottom 5. So keep an eye on that. Their Bears defense is not like we used to, and they're letting teams score on them, especially in the passing game. So with that, man, I'll let you take this one since you're such a Bears fan. Do are you feeling the Bears choo-choo train is still going? Caleb Williams, he could have had more touchdowns in that game. You think they could topple this New Orleans Saints team who they don't think they won a game on the road yet?
I'm struggling with this. The Bears have me tied up in knots. Like I don't want to go against them just because I don't like them, but I just haven't been impressed with watching them. They squeaked out a win against the Commanders. 4.5 points is a decent amount. So I'm gonna go with the Saints. I think, like you said, they're a good 1-5 team. I'm just not buying the Bears hype yet.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's take it at 5.5. Okay, let's take it at 5.5 for our benefit because it is 5.5 in books, but it is because like I'm not sold either. Like I do not like the running game. I think the Saints if they keep them one dimensional, the Bears can still win this. People, they can still win this. I'm 2024 winning this game, but I think the Saints can actually if they just need them stretch the field a little bit more. Okay, I think they could pass on this Bears defense. Olave and Rashid Shaheed is actually a good wide receiver combo. I think they can attack this Bears secondary, and I think the Bears are gonna have to, keep up with the Saints as well. So maybe the Bears do win it. Maybe this goes over the number as well. But I do like the Saints plus the 5.5 points, and so does Adam. So let's go and let's start and staying with NFC North. Let's start with my Philadelphia Eagles. My Philadelphia Eagles that give me heart, stroke, back problems, headaches. We have the Eagles versus the Vikings, with the Philadelphia Eagles being favored by 1.5 points and the over-under being 43.5. I'll start. The Eagles, an embarrassing loss to the Giants. They should never lost that game. They look unprepared. They looked like the deer in headlights. That was probably Brian Daboll's best win in I don't know how many years. Maybe this whole time he's been a head coach for the Giants. And I say the best win because he had a rookie quarterback and a rookie quarterback and running back. You had a guy who looks like a gargoyle and Scattaboo bulldoze his way to like literally like a rock you could roll down a hill, and you let him just go down there and just bulldoze you and bully the shit out of you. You have Jackson Dart, who he's making our defenders like slipping on ice, and he's out there making plays, diving for first down. And I can't stand his pompous attitude. I mean, if he was not in my division, it wouldn't be my Eagles. Maybe I would like him, but I can't stand this Jackson Dart, them doing this and this, blah blah blah. Like they just won the Super Bowl. Fuck you, okay?
I love it.
And they blew us out, and I couldn't stand it. I okay. Let's get back to my Eagles, okay? Um, they are not getting after the quarterback. Okay, they are not sacking the quarterback. They like I like them to. They Zadarius Smith, who led our team in sacks, retires out of nowhere. What do you like? If you're not feeling like you can play, you don't want to play in the NFL no more. How about you tell the team that such signed you just a few weeks ago that hey, like I'm probably not fully into the playing football anymore. No, the guy just goes like, oh, I'll retire. Peace out. I know I lead your team in sacks and QB pressure at 14%, which is a good number. No, peace out, Girl Scout. I'm out. So thank you for that, Zadarius Smith. So Zadarius Smith, he retires. Great, thank you. Also, Carter didn't play that game against the Giants, and without Carter, I don't know what it is. Without Jalen Carter, the Eagles fall apart on defense. Like we that's why I feel like the Eagles need to make a trade, which I know how he will. He will do something the trade deadline, but we need something. We need another guy who will fear on the defense. And Jordan Davis is been good, but it's like so when that on that front line, once we lose Carter, it just goes down the crapper. And like I said, we need to get after the quarterback more because we only have 9 sacks in 6 games. That's not the Philadelphia Eagles way. You want to say anything while I catch my breath here real quick?
Yeah, I do actually. I love that they got beat up last week. I'm sorry. Um, they have a crisis on both sides of the ball. I think last year they were used to bullying teams, offensive line and the defensive line. They don't have that this year, so their offense is struggling. Jalen Hurts isn't the kind of quarterback that's going to lift this team up by himself. I think they don't have the running game going like they used to. The offense is boring and stagnant, and without Jalen Carter, they just get beat up, dude. They're reeling. They are reeling, and they lost to a rival badly. So it's a terrible loss. I mean, I don't know what would happen if they had Jalen Carter last week. He's a 7-point swing or something. Like he's a huge difference maker, but they got their ass beat. So
Yeah, I don't.
don't know.
Yeah, like Chris Sims said, I heard Chris Sims, who I don't, I listen to once in a while because he's kind of He's not a Packer. He's not an Eagles hater, but I kind of agree with him. I never been the biggest Jalen Hurts lover. I do like his. I just wish I see more passion from him. I don't like his quiet demeanor. I don't want some guy being like crazy out there and like like headbutting guys and like Baker Mayfield. But well, Baker Mayfield. I mean, he has the talent to back it up. But I want to see something from him, and also maybe I don't know. Maybe he needs an all-star team around him so he can. I don't know. I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator because under Shane Steichen, he was looking really good, and he's had so many offensive coordinator changes. You can't blame the guy to saying like, "Hey, you got to keep it simple because you're going to leave next year." So besides that, the offensive line is beat up. They haven't been the same. The left tackle, who's been one of the best left tackles, top three in the NFL, he is looking rusty, but our starting left guard, who's been an all-pro left guard 2 years in a row. He's hurt, neck injury, and I think a knee injury. Yeah, left knee injury. So the offensive line is kind of beat up. But I want to say Dickerson did practice today, full practice. Uh, Keon Mitchell, who we need desperately more than any position, even more than our left guard. He did practice today, Thursday. We need him because I'm calling right now. The Eagles will make a play for cornerback besides Keon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, which Cooper DeJean plays all over the field. He just doesn't play nickel. He actually plays like they have him like some like one guy like following everything. Like so, but when we have the other corner, Jackson, Kelly Ringo, they shouldn't even be in the league. Those guys should not even be, they should be on practice squads. They are terrible. Anybody's better than him. I think Howie Go gets a guy who's better than average, doesn't have to be breaking the bank. We were so stupid not keeping Isaiah Rodgers. We should have kept him, like I said, because outside of Keon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, you can just throw on that side and there'll be a catch every single time. That's how god awful that second quarter is. So that's another thing. But Keon Mitchell being there actually saves us. So we don't have to play Jackson and Ringo because those guys are terrible. So I'm glad to see him practice that game. Those guys, Dickerson, Keon Mitchell, and I forgot the other guy who was practicing. So good to see there. But I want to say anything about the Eagles. The Eagles own the NFC North. They own the NFC North. They've won 8 straight games in the NFC North, and I went to go back before that. They're like 15-2 against the NFC North in general. So like they own it. They've dominated the Vikings the last couple years in the playoffs, including that. So they do it. Eagles are 7-2 in against the spread, also in the last 9 road games. So they are covering spreads on the road. Let's talk about the Vikings. Vikings are coming off a bye, but they beat the Browns 2 weeks ago. They needed a last minute touchdown. Literally, it was like 30 seconds left in the game to beat the Browns. But they're coming off a bye week. They're also beat up though. I want to keep that in mind. Carson Wentz is beat up. McCarthy's beat up. McCarthy's probably not playing. And also, the 3 starting offensive linemen are all beat up. And I don't know if all 3 are going to be healthy for this game. All 3, I think, may one come back. But from what I'm reading, they'd be lucky to get 2 back. But so keep an eye on that. Jalen Carter might have his best game if those 3 guys are out. Blake Cashman, they're one of the better linebackers who could get after the quarterback. He's finally coming off the IR. He had a full practice, so I'm guessing that we'll take him off IR come Friday or Saturday. That's good because he could get after the quarterback really well. Van Ginkel, I know he's been hurt. I don't know if he played against the Browns, but if he is healthy, he is questionable for this game with a neck injury. He can also get after the quarterback at all. And it looks like they might have that front 7 full, but you can rush on the Vikings. They allow 4.5 yards a carry to each running back, so you can rush on them. And I think after the Eagles reported that they had a very big team meeting, they reassessed the offensive coordinator. I think the Eagles will give Barkley 20, 25 carries. So I think that. So I'll let you take this one first, dude. Or I'll take this one since you took the last one. I think it comes to this. Do you believe Carson Wentz could get the ball? Hurt Carson Wentz could get this ball to his Jonah to Jefferson to. I also want to mention I don't think I forgot to mention I do not think that Jones is back yet for this game. I think he's going to be out for this game, so it will be Mason at running back. And Mason in the last 2 games, I think he's barely got over 50 yards, maybe over 50 yards. He hasn't been doing too well in the last 2 games, so keep an eye out for that. But they have Jefferson. Mason is a better than average running back, and they have Addison. So they can Carson Wentz, a hurt Carson Wentz, get to the these guys, and can this offensive line hold up with the healthy Jalen Carter, which he came out today and said that he is going to play this game. And I think this is a great bounce back game for the Eagles. They got embarrassed by the Giants. I mean, that was like a pride. This is like a pride thing now. They had their pride, their dignity stripped by the gargoyle and the surfer that is freaking Jackson Dart. And I think they come in this. They just pound and pound the ball with Barkley, and I think they start using the RPO more like they should be doing, and have Hurts use his damn legs, use it more. Hurts has not been he's been looking like a deer in headlights, so I am concerned, but I think they rely heavily on the run, and they win this game. Hell, if you're telling me a field goal could cover this game, I'll take Eagles to cover it just by a field goal. So give me the Eagles to cover the 2.5 or 1.5. That is.
Yeah, I have to go with the Eagles on this one too. I hate the
Ooh, I
Vikings
thought you were going
quarterback.
Vikings.
I want to so bad, you know I do. Um, and I do think their defense is going to give the Eagles a lot of troubles. But I think if the Eagles, if with Jalen Carter back, they can get after the Vikings quarterback. And I'm gonna regret this all week. This will be the one game I hate. But I've watched a lot of Vikings games already this year, and they've been disappointing. So I can't go with them.
You think Vikings are going to finish last place in NFC North?
Maybe, yeah.
Well, I think if you bet on I think there's a good number. I think it's like almost double your money, even money, that if you take the Vikings in last place. So if you pick them to go fourth place, you can actually win some decent money.
If their O line gets healthy, they're going to be a different team. But they have just been getting blown up for the last I don't know how many weeks. So I'll need to reassess after that.
But do you think Carson Wentz or McCarthy could take you to the promised land? You know what I mean?
No.
They got to have the West quarterback in the division. Would you think, right?
100% by far.
Yeah. But you're right, though. They need a healthy line because they need to protect those two quarterbacks. But give us the Eagles that they better, or I'm going to have a damn heart attack. They're going to find me on the floor with a stroke because the Eagles lost to cover the 1.5 points. Now, let's go to a game that's going to be one of the games of the week. We have the Colts versus the Chargers, which I'm surprised the Chargers are favored by 1.5 points, with the Colts looking like dynamite. The Chargers are favored by 1.5 points, and the over-under is 48.5. Colts are coming off a close win in the Cardinals. I had that as one of my best bets. God knows, that was just so disappointed with that game, but they do come off the win. Colts, they could pretty much go punch to punch now with any offense in the league. They have the best running back stats wise. Taylor is killing it. He leads the league in rushing yards. They have Daniel Jones is spreading the ball around to Pierce, to Pittman, to Warren. They're a really good tight end who looks like he might be a home run pick. Their offensive line is looking dynamite. So they look like they could go punch to punch with everybody. And Daniel Jones, I know he's not going to win the MVP, but don't be surprised if Daniel Jones is a top 10 MVP candidate. So don't be surprised with that. But when it comes to the Colts, I want to mention again about their offense. I just missed this part. They have scored at least 29 points in every game besides one. So they're scoring damn near 30 points in every game. But when it comes to the Colts, it's their defense. It's bend, don't break. They have 16 sacks. It's not terrible, but you can rush on them and you can pass on them a bit, but you can definitely run on them. And that's where I'm serious. That's where I'm worried about with the Chargers team that relies on the run. And I know they don't have their rookie, but Vidal had a really good game for the Chargers last week. What do you think about the Colts, man? Do you think they're the real deal?
I do. Yeah, they've shown it almost every week. They are still a healthy-ish team. I don't see them slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree. And Daniel Jones, like I said, I think he could keep this up. It doesn't look like it's a fluke. 8 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. But like I said, Taylor's killing it. 603 yards rushing and over 100 yards receiving. The guy's killing it. Now let's talk about the Chargers. They're coming off a close when it gets the Dolphins. I say close because they could have lost that game, literally lost that game. They're getting healthy, though, because they are beat up a lot. They are getting healthy. Joe Alt might play this game, and he is their star left tackle, and they need help because Herbert's taking a lot of hits. And like I just told you, the Colts could get after they have 16 sacks, so they can get after the quarterback. I'm not don't know if Vidal can uh, do what he did last week, over 120 yards rushing. Good for him. I still think. I mean, I hear that they're still in the market to get a running back, so I'm not sold on that. So keep an eye out for that. I also their starting center still hurt, so he's questionable. Their starting guard is hurt, and their quarterback Molden is questionable for this game as well. Keep an eye out for that as well. Um, you know, I don't know, man. This one's tough. I surprised the Chargers were favorite. They were without their best running back. They're a Colts team that little, they were a little shaky against the Cardinals. And I'm a certified hardball hater. I'm not a believer in him until he actually wins something in the NFL. So Oh yeah, and Khalil Mack is probably going to play this game, or he's questionable. So they do get some help getting after the quarterback. So man, what do you think? We got the Chargers. He got their weapons, McConkey, Johnson. I know Johnson's a little beat up, but I think he will play this game. Quinn Johnson. Let me double check on that. I do not see. Yeah, I do not see him on the injury report as of now, but maybe he will. I'm looking at the injury report. Sorry, but what do you think, man? What, are you surprised? And do you think the Colts are being a little disrespected?
I am surprised. I'm thinking it's the Joe Alt coming back. Honestly, he practiced today. That's got to be a big. It's a huge change for their offense. I think maybe Vidal can run even more. I'm still struggling though. I've been with the Colts, I think almost every week so far this year, and I'm gonna stick with the Colts. I want to wait to see it again from the Chargers, and I think the Colts have just been too consistent. Jonathan Taylor looks great. Um, yeah, I'm. It's a tough one. I can't wait to watch this game.
Yeah. Quinn Johnson is questionable. Was limited practice with a hamstring, and Darren James is questionable with the wrist, but he was limited practice. So keep an eye. And Joe Alt did not practice, even though
Oh,
but he's still questionable. He didn't practice yesterday. I mean, sorry, Wednesday.
gotcha.
So all those players I was talking about Wednesday. I wasn't talking about today, Thursday.
I just googled it today. It said it's Thursday. He practiced today,
Okay.
so
Well,
I don't know.
I am gonna go with the Chargers to cover the 1.5 points. I think um, I think it's gonna be a close game. Herbert is going to be. I just didn't like what I said. I think the Cardinals were one of the worst pretenders with a decent record of the whole NFL, and I think for that, like for them to drop the ball like that, let them the Cardinals almost put 30 points, and I think that Herbert, and if Joel comes back with better protection, I think he can actually put some numbers on this Colts team, and I actually think it could go over 48.5. So I'm cautious, but give me the Chargers to cover the 1.5 and give Adam the Colts to plus the 1.5 points. And let's talk about a team that I want to, punch like because they beat my Philadelphia Eagles. We had the Giants versus the Broncos. Broncos be favored 7.5. Oh, and I do not have the over under on this. Hold on, folks. We're doing this in real time. Let me get the number for you. Over under is 40.5 points. Giants are coming off the best win they had in years against my Philadelphia Eagles. They won outright. They blew the doors off the Eagles. Good for them. Um, Scatterboo and Jackson Dart looking really great. Scatterboo is looking like he's like this real deal. Can he keep on taking this punishment? We'll see. He has 5 touchdowns, 338 yards rushing. Jackson Dart still is not even beating Russell Wilson on the passing yards. He's using his legs, but hey, it's adding a spark. It's like they're believing in him, this team, and that does say something. Maybe his stats are not showing here, but they're not showing on paper. But the team is believing him, and he's lit a fire in their asses, as you can tell from last week. Wide receiving room is still god awful. I think Slayton is questionable in this game. Robinson, not bad, but you don't want him being your leading wide receiver. He has 351 yards, but their front seven is doing well, and I think that's keeping them more games than people think than Jackson Dart. Brian Burns has 7 sacks. The guy's on pace to freaking get 15, 16 sacks. So he is doing well. He is killing it, and they're getting after the quarterback. What do you think about the Jets, man? I mean the Jets. What do you think about the Giants? I'm kind of hate that everybody's crowning them as the like. There's so much this big this duo. It's hammer and punch. It's left and right. It's like okay. They beat the Eagles. Let's just pump the brakes a bit. Good win. But let's just pump the brakes. What do you like? I know you like them. I know you're a big fan of them.
Yeah, I mean, they've been exciting. I think there's so much parity in the league that when a team can
Yeah,
find a way to get excited, like with Dart and Scadaboo, they are energizing players that it helps them win. But that's like a sugar high. That's
yeah,
not a long-term strategy. So it's not going to be long until they get punched in the face on offense. Obviously, I like their defense. Um, but they've been fun to watch. I just don't know how many more weeks we're gonna have their offense putting up this many points.
right. And yeah. So I think if you just, I mean, honestly, well, let's get on the Broncos before I jump into that. Broncos are coming off a very close win against was it the Dolphins? No, they're coming off close winning in London against the I'm drawing a blank here. Who did the Broncos
I
beat?
thought it was the Dolphins. No.
Yeah, the Jets. The Jets. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sorry, folks. The Broncos coming off a close win against the Jets. The offense doesn't look great. I don't. I don't like Sean. I mean, not that I don't like Sean Payne. I don't like people putting their noses up Sean Payne's butt. So that's why I watch a lot of Broncos games. And I'm sorry. There's nothing like. I'm not like blown away by their offense whatsoever. Like they, especially against the Eagles. I know they had that second half resurgence. A lot of those balls, they like here's son, catch the ball, and don't get me wrong, J.K. Dobbins and Harvey were pounding it, but I'm just not impressed with their offense whatsoever. I still think they need to go out and get somebody opposite of Sun, because besides Sun, I'm not. It's Franklin, maybe their best other go to guy who could receive the ball. And I'm not really in love with Franklin either. That's Marvin Mims. Like I said, Ingram has been a disappointment, but I'm not really sold on them. It's J.K. Dobbins and it's Bo Nix. But Bo Nix, by the way, Bo Nix is throwing pure passing play. He's throwing less yards than Justin Fields and Bryce Young, and he's only throwing 6.2 yards a pass. So that's literally 5 yards, 5 yards, 2 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards. That's what he's doing. Okay, so it's not like he's killing it. He's throwing it down the field. And he's also been sacked 6 times, so his offensive line is keeping him clean. That's another biggie. And he's only been sacked 6 times. So, when it comes to the Broncos, it comes down to their defense. Their defense is on pace to break the 1985 Bears sack record. But they're blow it by a mile. That's how much they're getting after the quarterback. Okay, their second guys galore. Their best guy has 8 or 9 sacks, like I said. Bonito, if I'm saying his name right. Yeah, Bonito, he has 8 sacks. Stamad has 3.5 sacks. Cooper has 4.5 sacks. Franklin Myers has 3 sacks. They have 30 sacks in 6 games. So they are just clobbering people. And like I said, they have the best corner and son in all of NFL. So it's the defense. It's the defense. It's the defense. It's the defense. So, dude, this is what it comes down to. I'll take this one. 6.5. I see it's 7.5 points. It's tough because I do not like this Broncos defense. I do not like this Broncos offense whatsoever. But I just think all they have to do to stop the Giants is put 8 in the box. That's all. Stop Scadaboo, play Jackson Dart for like the RPO or him using his legs, and you'll blow them out of the water. Sutton, I mean, yeah, their best, the best cornerback. He could guard Robinson like it's nobody's business. He could guard any other wide receivers. 7.5 is a lot. I don't like the hook. Okay, excuse me. I don't like the hook, but I think a little too much hype is going to be on that. The Broncos barely beat the Jets. I know, but it was overseas. I just can't get behind. And I'm not really optimistic about this cover, but I think the Denver Broncos the Broncos defense gonna be too much for this rookie running back and this rookie quarterback. And all you have to do is play 8 in the box, and you can stop. Let those wide receivers go against these corners and islands. They won't get the ball to it. So I think there's gonna be a lot of dinking and dunking, and I think this is gonna be honestly, I think this is gonna be a 20, 21 13 kind of game, or 21 or 24-14 kind of game. So give me the Broncos to cover the 7.5.
I'm with you. 7.5's a lot, but I think that the Broncos' offense hasn't been good, but it hasn't needed to be good. I think they're playing behind like I said, like a Hall of Fame defense, and I think they shut down the Giants' offense. So I think they cover.
Yeah, and look, I'm not solid because I am not saying that I am um because they're the offense. Just don't ride the train that is the Broncos either, okay? Because their offense is not so great. Now let's talk about the Cheeseheads, Adam's favorite team. We got the Cheeseheads versus the Arizona Cardinals, with the Packers be favored by 6.5 points and the over under 44.5. Okay, Adam. I just want you to talk about. They come off a bye. They play the Bengals. They beat the Bengals, but not in a I would say fashion that you think they should beat the Bengals at, with a team that's disoriented. Because last time I checked, they needed a big fourth quarter to win that game, the Packers. So what do you take? What do you think, man? Like, well, let me just throw some more at you. Uh, they're not getting after the quarterback. Cooper, your boy, is not playing his best. Parsons is not getting after the quarterback like everybody wants him to. And I also want to know how healthy he actually is. And also, I'm just saying, I keep on saying it. Who are you afraid on this offense? Again, who are you afraid? This is why the Packers haven't covered 3 games in a row, because they don't have an ace, and they don't have a guy who could go over the top, in my opinion. I just want to see, Parsons has 2.5 sacks. That's pretty good. And your boy Cooper, only a half a sack, but he is second in tackles. So, but what do you think, man? I think the Packers, like, they're not pitting. They're like the Eagles a little bit. They're not pitting a full 4 quarters.
No, no, they're not. And last week was a tough one. They let the Bengals hang around. I do think in the first half they were mixing around their offensive line a lot. Zach Tom, I don't know how healthy he is or if he should have come back. They did get more Jordan Morgan in at right guard, starting I think in the second half, and I think that really helped the run game get going because it really was a bit stagnant in the first half. So offensively, I think they're doing all right. I think if they can get the run game going, Golden looks good. We're gonna get Christian Watson back too at some point. But for this game,
Yeah,
I still like
he was
the
limited.
offense.
He was limited in practice, Watson, today.
Yeah, yeah, and Love has looked good. He's not making a ton of bonehead moves, turning the ball over. We're scoring when we need to. For me, I am a little concerned about the defense. They have cooled down a lot. I think last week Devontae Wyatt was out, our D tackle, and he has been playing really good. So I'm not saying he's like a Jalen Carter, but without him, I think the Parsons just hasn't been getting to the quarterback quite as much. And Lucas Van Ness is out as well, or hurt.
Yeah, he's beat up.
But otherwise, the defense is healthy. We haven't been getting turnovers like we did last year. I don't know. I think they played decent last week, and I think they're going to take another step forward this week. I do.
Yeah. I know it's not the Packers' MO, but did the Packers make a trade?
No. I don't even know what we would trade for, honestly. I don't know what they need, really. I think they spent a lot on O-line. Our offense is solid. If we could get a D-line, but I don't think that's going to happen either. I don't think we need it. I don't see what they would go after, honestly. Maybe
Well, you never know. If you're planning to make the playoff run, another good player want to hurt. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And keep an eye on that injury report. As of yesterday, Aaron Banks, Jordan Morgan, Anthony Belton, Jacob Muck, Zach Tom, all questionable. So this offensive line is beat up. So keep an eye on that. Jacob Monk has been injured reserve for a while, but he did limited practice. Maybe getting him back if he does come off IR will help you guys. But keep an eye out. That offensive line is beat up. But and let's talk about the Cardinals. Oh, the Cardinals. I mean, like they did impress me. Like I was not expecting them to be in it with that game against the Colts whatsoever. I'm like I've said multiple times. I am not a Cardinals believer. I think Kyle Murray was going to be. I think he's going to leave Going to leave the Cardinals. I think Jonathan Gannon's going to be fired. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is playing better than we thought, but I think we all want to see more from him. McBride's good, but that's it. That's it. That's all they have. Marvin Harrison Jr., McBride, and that's it. The third guy is Zay Jones. Zay Jones has been on 9 different teams in this league. The running back room, even though Carter and Knight showed some toughness, some gump, some whatever, that's not a good running back room. Okay, Benson on IR, Connor is done for the year. Bam Knight and Michael Carter's not. It's their defense now. The red zone defense for both teams, by the way, I want to mention this, are really good. Packers, I think, have a top 5 red zone offense, and they have a top 5 red zone defense. I believe I got that right. And the Cardinals are really good in the red zone either. Their defense keeps them in games. Brissett had a good game last week. Brissett, I was surprised, but he might not play this game. It might be Kyle Murray. It might be Brissett. So keep an eye out for that. You know, I don't know, dude. I'm reluctantly to take the Packers to cover this game because the Packers, like I said, they haven't covered 3 games in a row in the spread, and they're letting teams stay in games. But they've put up 27 points in the last 4 of their last 5 games, which is really good. The only outlier being the Cleveland Browns, that is. But I don't care. I think the Packers. I think this would be a good game for them to pit it all together. And I'm going to take them to cover the 6.5 points. The Cardinals, they do like to stick around, which is like frustrating when you want to pick against them. So they are like just not a team that you could roll over them. They covered the last 3 games. They covered against the Colts. They covered. Oh no, they actually didn't cover against the Titans, but they covered against the Seahawks and the Colts and the 49ers. Those are 3 good teams that are all 3 probably going to make the playoffs. So they covered against those 3 tough teams. So reluctantly, I'm going to take the Packers to hopefully pit 4 quarters together and they cover the 6.5. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals cover this number. I mean, they cover with the 6.5 points.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Packers too. Obviously, the Cardinals have been a tough one. They've been a problem for a lot of teams. I feel like we've bet against them incorrectly a lot of times already.
And we picked them straight. If this was a straight up thing, we'd be pretty good against them.
Yeah, but they're messing with some spreads. But I'm going with the Packers.
Yeah. Oh, they got to put it together. If they want to be in the top 5 in people's power rankings, I need to say more. They crowned them, and like you got to put it together. And maybe Watson coming back in a week or 2 would help them. And I think Reed will come back for 8 to 10 weeks. But if they could get him at the end of the season, then I would feel more comfortable picking them in their full offense to be full running. Now let's talk about my division, NFC East. The biggest over under 54.5 points. We have the Commanders going to Dallas against the Cowboys, with the Commanders being favored by 1.5 and the over under for 54.5. Like I said, big number. Commanders coming off a loss to the Bears, run sloppy game, but both these defenses suck, people. Both these defenses suck. Lattimore does not look the same. The Commanders have a bunch of injuries on their defense. It does not look good, and it shows. Okay, and but Ertz, I think Scary Terry might play this game. So keep an eye out for that. They need him because it's been Ertz and Debo. And Debo, he didn't look good against the Bears, but they need another weapon, and Scary Terry can be that weapon. He didn't practice today, so with a quadriceps. So watch out for that. And Debo did not practice as well this Thursday because he has a heel injury. That's not good as well. But I'm not sold on this team just yet. Jaden Daniels is looking dynamite. I get it. This rookie running back who's a 7th rounder looked like a great pickup for them. He is killing it. 344 yards, 60 carries with 4 touchdowns. Pretty good. If Debo is healthy, he looks like a solid pickup. Jaden Daniels, I know he's out a game or 2. But he's only completing 62% of his passes. You want to see that number a little bit more, and he has 875 yards passing on 7 touchdowns and only 1 pick. So that is good as well. But dude, this defense, I am not sold on it. They have a lot of injuries, guys who are hurt, and they're gone. There's a couple guys who are gone from this team. Bobby Wagner, no longer the good. He could stuff the run, but he could help call the plays and read offenses. But he's no longer good in against the pass. Like I said, that Bears wide receiver had him burnt to a crisp, but he's lucky he dropped it. So I'm not sold on them. I'm not just being just a hater, but I think they need another punch, and I also think this defense needs an extra player or two. I don't know. Do you like what you're seeing from the Commanders?
Not really. I think they're kind of at the same level as the Bears. They're okay. Um, I don't know. Like I said, with McLaurin back, they might get a little more juice, obviously. But no, I haven't loved it.
Yeah, like I said, Will Harris is out for the year. Wise Jr. is out for the year. Batiste is out for the year. Jackson's out for the year, and Jonathan Jones is on the IR. I think Drake Johnson is not out for the year, but he's on the IR as well. So a lot of guys on the defense. So pay attention. Noah Brown still just pay attention to this injury room because they got a hell of a lot of injuries. The Cowboys, offense. The offense is unbelievable. CD Lamb about an hour ago said that he is playing Sunday. So that just adds more fire to the offense. Probably going to maybe affect some George Pickens fantasy owners, but he is coming back. He said he's going to play him, Javonte Williams, and Pickens and Ferguson. That is a top 5 guarantee offense like anybody's business. So we don't have to talk about that at all. But it's the defense. The defense that is god awful. It's arguably the worst defense compared to the Ravens. But the Ravens at least have the excuse that, hey, we're all beat up. The Dallas Cowboys, my God, they let the Panthers score 30. They let the Jets score 22. The Packers 40 and 37 by the 40 by the Giants, 20 by the Eagles, 24 by the Eagles, and 31 by the Bears. So teams are scoring on them left, right. The only team that didn't score 30 points on them was the Eagles. The Eagles scored 24. Every other team scored 30 points or more against them, and teams are averaging 30.7 points against them, which ranks second to last. So their defense is god awful, but they're putting up almost 30 points themselves, which is third in the NFL. So, dude, this is obviously the battle of the offenses. That's basically what it is. And I'll go first. I'm taking the 1.5 points with the Dallas Cowboys. It's in Dallas. They play better at home. They tied with the Packers in Dallas. They beat the Giants in Dallas too. So their wins, their win and their tie are at home, and they have one. They haven't lost. They haven't lost one game. They haven't lost one game in Dallas. So I think with CD Lamb and all the weapons they got, I think they're going to overpower the Commanders. And like I said, Scary Terry's questionable. Debo's questionable. So I'm taking the Cowboys plus the 1.5. I'm taking a money line. I'm definitely taking a money line. So that's what I'm taking.
I'm going with you. Jaden Daniels did look better last week, but the Cowboys are just so hot on offense. And with CeeDee Lamb back, hopefully they can just get even more powerful on offense. So I think they should be able to put up. They're going to be sniffing 40 points again, I think.
Yeah, I actually don't think 54 points, 54.5 is enough for this because I think both these teams are going to go gangbusters. So give us both the Cowboys to plus the 1.5 points. Now let's go to Monday Night Football. No, let's go to Sunday Night Football. Sorry, Sunday Night Football. We have the Falcons versus the 49ers, which now this looks like a really great game. The 49ers being fair by 3.5 and the over-unders 47.5 points. The Falcons, they look unbelievable last week. BJ Robinson ran. The Bills kind of just give, all right, go ahead. Just go ahead. You could run towards the end there, score as many points as you want. He looked unbelievable. He tore the Bills apart. Michael Penix had another good game too. 250 yards passing, 1 touchdown. And like I said, Robinson killed them. Drake London killed them. And surprisingly, their defense They're getting after the quarterback more than I thought previously. Like you want to see more, but their young guys are kind of fast, and they have 14 sacks. 14 sacks is miles ahead from last year. But dude, so what I'm saying is this: if their defense is finally getting after the quarterback, the Atlanta Falcons, uh, with a combination of B.J. Robinson, Kyle Pitts looking good, Drake London, and Tyler Algier getting his second his complimentary to B.J. Robinson and Michael Penix. He's has 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, but he's playing kind of game manager. I think if he could play game manager, he's completed 62% of his passes. But I think if play good enough game manager, just pound the rock of B.J. Robinson, who's almost averaging 6 yards a carry, and him and Tyler Algier, I think they're surprising a lot of people. I mean, I'm surprised. Are you?
Very. They put a whole game together last week. I know the Bills defense is terrible, but man, they dominated. And Bijan is looking like definitely the best running back in the league this year. So
Yeah, him or
I
Taylor.
don't know.
They're head to head. They have 8 turnovers as well this season. So I think overall they're looking like I don't know how they lost the Panthers. They lost 30-0 to that game. That still dumbfounds me. I think it was just a bad night from Penix. But overall, I think they're a very complete team on both sides because now thinking they're getting after the quarterback. Now let's talk about the 49ers. They're being held up by tape, glue, and well wishes because their heart and soul, their Fred Warner is. I think he might be out for the whole year. He is gone. This guy with he played through. If he had a club foot, if he was a pirate, he'd get out there with a wooden leg and he'd still play for the 49ers. That guy was doing everything he can to stay on that field, and they lose him, and that is big. And that's where I'm getting with it right now. Is it bringing Brock Purdy or Mac Jones? It looks like it's going to be Mac Jones. So, Mac attack looking good, looking great, but they're beat up everywhere. I'm just going to go over their injured list real quick. Green, their cornerback, he's limited in practice. Jordan Watkins, some backup wide receiver. Their starting guard injured. Their starting defense tackle injured. Even Mac Jones is questionable with a knee and oblique injury. Sky Moore, he's injured with an ankle. George Kittle, thank the whatever God you believe in, he is actually going to play this game. He came out an hour ago saying he will play this game, so that gives them an extra weapon. They need Ricky Purcell back. He did not practice on Wednesday with a knee injury. Brock Purdy was limited. Juwan Jennings has broken ribs, 5 broken
5.
ribs. Yeah, dude. I dropped him in our fantasy league. I don't know if you saw that. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm not playing with the guy who's been playing with half his body basically. So he's hurt, and one of their best defenses, Matos, is hurt. So, dude, this team is being held
Dude,
up by.
I don't know if it's Halloween or whatever, but I'm starting to believe in spirits and shit. I think people have been putting some blood magic out there to keep Christian McCaffrey healthy, and McCaffrey has just been sucking the life out of this whole team. I mean, I've never seen so many IR players, injured players on a team in my life.
Yes.
He is sucking the life out of this team. He looks good. I hope it's worth it, but I'm starting to believe, man, something's
Oh,
going on.
either yeah, you're right. It's blood magic like crazy because the guy who's always hurt is actually real healthy and he's doing everything he can to help this team. He has 444 yards receiving and 336 yards rushing. The guy has almost 800 total yards and he's not hurt. He has a total of 4 touchdowns. So it is him and nobody else keeping this train rolling. But yeah, so that's what it comes down to, people. This team is beat up like crazy. Their defense in particular, and their offense. But maybe they get Ricky Parcells back. Maybe they get, and they are getting some reinforcements, and they're getting Kittle back. And Kendrick Bourne is actually playing well. I don't know if you've seen that. He's doing Kendrick Bourne. He's doing really well for him. 371 yards on 33 carries. No touchdowns yet, but he'll get there. Jake Tongas, backup tight end. Maybe they use a dual at tight end set with him and Kittle. He's looking pretty good. 3 touchdowns, 224-yard receiving. So this is a tough game, man. Fred Warner, the lifeblood of that defense, is hurt. I'll let you. Well, yeah, I'll let you take this one, man. Do you think that the blood magic, this voodoo, keeps it going with the 49ers to kind of a hot team that is the Atlanta Falcons, who are pitting complete games together the last 2 games?
Yeah, this one's really hard. I still am not a believer in the Falcons. I think that I just don't know what team is going to show up. But I am going to roll with them on this one just because of all the injuries. Getting Kittle back is big, but man, losing Fred Warner in that defense is a big hit. So I think the Falcons are going to run the ball and win this one, recover, I should
Yeah,
say.
yeah. I thought you would go for San Francisco. I thought you would. But I'm with you, man. I think losing Fred Warner, I think that just opens the. I mean, you lose your guy who you lose your play caller, your green guy with the green dot, who and reads defenses and calls out the audibles. So you're losing more than just a guy who puts his body on the line. You're losing his intelligence too. So I think this offense is humming. If Penix just plays game manager, I think BJ Robinson without Fred Warner, he could rush on them as well. Yeah, give me the Falcons plus a 3.5 points, and give me BJ Robinson as an anytime touchdown. I think he's going to get another one there. So I think it's going to be one of the great. I'm going to be hyped to watch it for the Sunday night game. So it's going to be a great game. Now let's stay with another big number here for the over under 52.5 points. It's going to be a doubleheader Monday night. They love doing this for some reason. It looks like this is what they're going to do permanently. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, talk about a team that's beat up, against the Detroit Lions, with the Lions being favored by 5.5 points and the over under 52.5. Now, the Buccaneers, they are being held like the 49ers, like glue. They're beat up, but a good win against the 49ers. They blew them out 30-19. Before that, they blew the Seahawks. Oh, no, they won a close game against the Seahawks 38-35, but lost to my Philadelphia Eagles. And they beat everybody else. So the Buccaneers, your boy, the wide receiver, he's hurt. And I think he's not playing this game. I believe. I don't know if they ruled him out, but I think they'd be stupid because he didn't practice Thursday. That's what I'm reading. I think they'd be stupid. You're 5-1. Keep him for the games. So he is injured. Chris Godwin is really considered doubtful with his fibula. He's not playing. Bucky Irving is not practicing as well. So there's three aces right there in your offense, especially Bucky Irving and Buka. Those are really great guys right there. Mike Evans, as I'm reading right now, head coach Todd Bowles says return to practice Thursday, limited participants. So he did practice, and boy, do they need him to practice like nobody business. Without him, I think it's Dez Johnson and Shepard. I think that's who they have left, and K. Dot and then other tight end who I think to be using a lot of tight ends if none of these guys play. So keep an eye on that. Also, their starting tackle is questionable. He has a shoulder injury. They're a cornerback. Jalen McMillan is he's still in the IR with a neck injury. Their tackle, he's still in the IR, but he's probably a week away from coming back. Oh no, he's out for the season. Their starting tackle. That's bad news for the Buccaneers. So a lot of injuries, man. But Baker Mayfield is playing out of his mind. He's second in the MVP voting. 1,500 yards. We don't have to go over it. 12 touchdowns, one interception. The guy has he has over 150 yards rushing or 1,500 yards passing. The guy he's pinning his life on the line. He was out with all those weapons last week, and he still threw bombs out there for touchdowns. So, man, with all those exceptions, the Buccaneers look good, man. I mean, if it's all once they get healthy, watch out. You know what I mean? They look like they could be the head and shoulders of the NFC.
They're dangerous. If they win this game, I would just give Mayfield the MVP right now. Just stop
Yeah.
the voting. Honestly, last week when what's his name got hurt and like Tez Johnson came in and he just threw a dart right to him, huge touchdown. I mean, I don't know. He's playing out of his mind. I don't know that he can do enough in this game, but we'll get to that in a minute. But
And Dez is a rookie, so I mean that's not some guy veteran back there catching that.
no,
So now let's talk about the Lions coming off a disappointing loss. Like now were they 2.5, 2.5 dogs? They got blown out by 13, 14 points. So not a good look for them. Um, you know, the Lions, you got to take a step back with the Lions. And this is where I'm getting. This is my problem with the Lions. We all know their offense, right? They have guys. They have guys everywhere on their offense. We don't have to talk about that. But go take a look about the teams they beat. Now, this is the thing I was talking about last year. Last year, I was telling people all these teams when I was doing my fool's goal list, which I got to do soon, but I never do it. I told you for these pretenders, look at the teams they beat, and I was right on the majority of them. They beat the Bengals, the Browns, the Ravens, and the Bears. Their best win is against the Bears in the second week in the NFL. That is it. The Ravens have one game. They've won one game. The Browns have won one game. The Bengals, I think they got two games, maybe. That's it. These teams are terrible, and that's the teams they beat. So when I took a step back, which I think I should look sooner, I was like, yeah, they have beaten nobody, and their schedule is going to get a lot tougher. They already lost the Chiefs. They play the Buccaneers. Granted, the Buccaneers are beat up, and they play the Vikings and the Commanders and the Eagles. So the time's going to tell if the Lions are actually worth their weight. Okay, so take a step back. So like I said, they could get after the ball. They have everybody on offense. Like I said, they're killing everybody. You know all the weapons. Goff has 14 touchdowns, only two interceptions. He's only been sacked 9 times. That's great. Jamar Gibbs and Montgomery both have over 300 yards rushing. I believe Gibbs is almost 400 yards rushing. They both have 4 touchdowns each. They're looking good. St. Brown, he's looking awesome. Laporta looking awesome. Jalen Williamson looking awesome. So we know all of this, okay? But like I said, pay attention to that. The teams they defeated. They defeated tomato cans. I'm not sold on their defense like everybody else is. I know they got 19 sacks. I get it, but they are beat up on defense. I believe their two best corners are hurt, and Arnold and Avante Maddox is
Joseph.
out.
Oh.
Yeah, Joseph is out. Joseph is beat up. Avante Maddox is out, and Teron Arnold is out as well. These
And
guys.
Branch is suspended.
Branch is suspended. So pay attention. And DJ Reader, they're arguably their best defensive line. He's questionable for this game too. But they do get some better news. Their other starting defensive tackle, who was McNeil, he is a full participant on Thursday, so that is some reinforcements a bit. But if these secondary guys, and they're going to be out for this game, which looks like they are, and Davenport, even with the beat up Buccaneers team, a Baker Mayfield team who can get the ball to even his average guys, is going to be pretty tough. So, man, it's 5.5 points. It's a lot of points. I'll go first, man. It is tough because the Buccaneers are reeling. They are reeling on all over the ball. But, man, I think if Mike Evans comes back, now I'm just going to assume that even if Evans is not back, I think Baker Mayfield keeps him in the game enough. And Rashad White has been a good backup, running back, and Tucker. That's not a bad backups. And I think Baker playing lights out like he's doing. I think that's too good of a quarterback, Baker Mayfield, to give him 5.5 points. And I think I know the Lions, because this could be a bounce back win from. Hell, like I said, they could win this game. But I'm gonna take 5.5 points and hope and pray that Mike Evans does come back as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a tough one. And I think the Lions maybe feel like they need to do a bounce back. They feel disrespected. They're going to play hard. I really want to pick Tampa in this one because Mayfield has been playing well with an injured offense for weeks. But man,
So
I'm going to go against you per usual today. And go with the Lions. I don't love it. I don't love their defense, especially with the injuries. But I don't think the Tampa's going to be like explosive enough consistently in the game to put up enough points. So I'm going to go Lions.
yeah, well, I'm glad I'm glad this game's gonna be Monday night in general, because now it's not just some crappy team, and it's gonna be the better one. Awesome. Now let's say with our last Monday night football game, which is gonna be a defensive battle here. We got the Texans versus the Seahawks. Seahawks being favored by 3.5 points, and the over under being 41.5. The Texans are coming off a bye, but which they desperately needed, because they needed to get healthy themselves. But they're coming off a 2-game winning streak off before that bye. Now the two teams they beat the Ravens and the Titans, but they blew the doors off the Ravens 44-10. So that's what you do with bad teams, you blow them out. But they lost to the Buccaneers by 1 point. They lost to the Rams by 5 points, and they lost to the Jaguars by 7. So they've been in every game they've lost, they lost by 1 possession or less. So they're in it, the games, the majority of them. Like I said, they needed to get better. They needed this. They need to get healthy. They're getting closer and closer for what's his name, the Mixon, to get closer. He's not ready to play, but they're getting close for him to to join this team. You know, we know about the defense. The defense is dynamite. They could get after the quarterback. They have one of the best corners So they could get after anybody and anybody. So we don't have to spend too much there. It's a coin flip when it for their offense. That's what it is. You don't know who you're going to get from their offense. Is Stroud going to take a step up? Is he going to come? Like, is the offensive line going to hold up against the Seattle defense that just sacked the previous team they played? They sacked that 7 times, I believe. So they're going to be able to protect CJ Stroud with their patchwork offensive line. And, they got Nick Collins, Christian Kirk, Nick Chubb. I still don't like Nick Chubb and Woody Marks as the offensive guys. So that's what it is. Or do you trust this Texans offense to produce, like to actually stay consistent? Because it's basically, in my opinion, it's basically Nico Collins. And Nico Collins can't do anything, that the defense will the offense will falter. Even Dalton Schultz, tight end, is not playing to my liking. But more importantly, the number one thing: can this Texans offensive line hold up against this Seattle Seahawks front seven? And their front seven can eat people away. Like I said, they had several sacks their game they played, but not just going to the Seahawks here. And I'll let you get to this, Adam. The Seahawks are beat up. The Seahawks secondary, they did win against the Jaguars, and like I said, they sacked them. But Devin Winterspoon was questionable. He didn't play last week. He's questionable in this game. Rick Woolen, questionable in this game. He didn't play last week. Josh, their safety, he didn't play last game either. Julian Love, so he's questionable this game. Those are 3 secondary starters right there, and that's a lot. I mean, Nico Collins is a wide receiver you have to respect and pay attention. So if these guys can't play, that's Nico Collins could possibly eat them up. They're also a little beat up on their offensive line, but I think their starting guard, he's been out for a while. So the thing about the Seahawks is this: Sam Darnold is looking really great. He's looking like the stupid Vikings should have signed him. 11 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. He's also only been sacked 7 times. So his offensive line is keeping him up. He's over for 1,500 yards passing. So he's doing great. He's averaging almost 10 yards a pass. He's averaging 9.6 yards a pass. So he's doing great. And he's throwing to Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's almost 700 yards receiving. He has 3 touchdowns. He is averaging 16.6 each reception. So that guy is not each reception, but he's averaging 16.6 yards. So the guy is killing it. Cooper Kupp is coming in there for what he can, 260 yards receiving. And AJ Barner, he's actually looking like a decent tight end himself. And they got Walker and Charbonnet. Walker, I think they should use him a little bit more. 78 carries, 364 yards, and 5 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns, I'm sorry. So, man, it comes down to this. Is the Seahawks front seven, and is their back seven going to be healthy? But if it's not healthy, can this front seven expose this patchwork offensive line that is the Texans? And can the Texans, if the back seven is hurt, can they expose it with Nico Collins? And that's it. But also, to me, this is going to be the battle of the defense. It is. You got one team that can get after the quarterback like nobody's business, like I said, and you got another team that could get after the quarterback like nobody's business. So, man, I know I ranted there for a second, but this is the last game. Who do you got?
I have the Seahawks. I think it'll be a good game, but the Texans have played 2 really bad teams the last 2 weeks before their bye. I think the Seahawks are playing great football. Defense is awesome. I hope they can keep putting up points, but Darnold has been doing what he needs to, and the running game looks good. So I think they're playing great top to bottom, and I think they'll get after Stroud. But it's going to be a good game. But I'm going with the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm with you reluctantly because I was thinking about taking the Texans money line. I think this is what I call a sucker bet. People are thinking like, how are the Seahawks only 3.5 favorites in home? But by the way, I wanted to mention I forgot to mention this. The head coach, I don't know if this will sway your decision. The head coach for the Seahawks has a losing record at home. They play way better on road with this head coach than they play at home. So I don't know if that sways your decision, but reluctantly I'm taking them cover 3.5 because I trust that some of these secondary guys, maybe 1 or 2, will come back for this game. And I think at home, Seattle could possibly, I think this is going to be like a 14-21 kind of game or 14-20 kind. It's going to be very low scoring, in my opinion. So reluctantly, I wouldn't be surprised if Texans cover the number, but I can't take them because I just don't trust this Texans offensive line. So give me the Seahawks to cover 3.5 with Adam. All right, guys. Now it's time for our best bets. And I'm sorry. I went 1-2. Adam went 2-1 as best bets. Like I said, we'll put our best bets right here in the bottom across our underneath our heads here. Adam's a little low because he likes to slouch, but we'll put his record right there in the bottom there. But I went 1-2. My best bets. Adam went 2-1. Adam, I got you beat against the spread for weeklies, but you got me beat on the best bets, man. So your go tos are winning more than mine. So let's get after it. I'll let you go first since you had the winning week.
All right. Well, I'm going to stick with the last game. I like the Seahawks. I know it's going to be a close one, but I've liked how they looked all week. So taking the Seahawks at -3.5. Then the next best bet, I think, which is the safest best bet every week, is whoever's playing the Titans. So I want the Patriots over the Titans. And then finally, I think the Cowboys are going to keep blasting and put up a ton of points and cover the over the Commanders.
I believe it's 3.5 points or 4. No, I think they're dogs.
It's
So
plus 1.5 Cowboys.
okay, yeah, yeah. I was really I had a feeling you were gonna go take the Texans and Patriots, but I need to catch up here. So I decided not. I wanted to take the Patriots, cover the 7.5. But my first game, I told you guys, and if you watched our Thursday night picks, I like the over and the Steelers and Bengals game. So hopefully they go over. I actually think the Bengals could probably cover that, but hopefully they go over. Okay, guys. And my second best bet, I like the Bears and Saints game to go over the 46.5. You can pass in the Bears. Their secondary is not good. I think Rashid Shaheed is going to get over the top and get some touchdowns. And I think the Bears are going to score on the Saints too. The Saints are not really well in the secondary as well. So I think there's going to be a bunch of points scored in that game. And the third game, I usually don't like taking my team as a best bet, but I am taking the Eagles plus to cover the 1.5 points. I just am. If you could tell me I get the Eagles and they're less than 2 points and they could probably just win with a field goal kick, I'll take it. Okay. Carter is back. Carter makes a big difference. I think this team knows that they need to regroup. This offense needs to get back and it needs to be humming, and they can get back in the NFC where they belong. So give me the Eagles to cover the 1.5 points, the over in the Bears and Saints game. And like I already got the over in the Bengals and Steelers game. So guys, that is it. That is week 7 in the books. Adam, you feeling good? You feeling comfortable? You liking these picks?
Love them. Lock them
All
in.
right. So we rebranded. I want to say we are called the Sports Corner now. That was my old YouTube name. So that's what we are now. We are the Sports Corner. It's just way better than Midnight Sports, in my opinion. I don't know why I switched, but I did. But we are now back to the Sports Corner. So guys, like and subscribe. It goes a long way. I love doing this. Adam loves doing this. Like I said, we do this for fun amongst us friends here. So please like and subscribe. Hopefully my Eagles win. Hopefully his Packers lose as usual. That's what we hope for. But guys, thank you. And as always, we'll be here next week for week 8. So guys, as usual, we'll see you guys in the next one.